And fuck it, I'll talk about the stick wars. Because like, every time I tell this story in real life, people look at me like I'm mental. So maybe like some people in the comments can let me know. Like, is there any people watching this who grew up in the north on council estates and you just had stick fights?
Okay.
Were stick fights a thing? And no, I'm getting there. And as I said, like, you know, there was that like arms race of like technology for toys, and we had the same thing with our stick fights, where, you know, first it'd just be whatever we found on the ground, throwing at each other. Then we'd start going to the nature reserve near my house and getting bigger sticks, and then we'd start like, you know, raiding like, you know, sheds in the neighborhood to get like broom handles, which are just sticks but really long ones that really hurt when you whack people with them. And then one day, someone realised if you get a stick that's really long and really pointy, you put it on a bit of dog poo, you've now got a javelin. Because I didn't understand aerodynamics as a kid, but I did know if you put a piece of poo on the end of that stick and you javelined it, it would fly and the poo would it'd strike true. The poo would strike true. And that just devolved.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, and like what happened was we just ended up javelin tossing poo at people's windows, and it was amazing. Like, I remember once, like, my brother, 'cause he was really good at throwing. Like, he was so good. Like, he did javelin at school. And one, like, summer, I remember he cleared it over someone's house. Like, he cleared a poo jar all the way over someone. We never found out where it went. We never knew where it landed. But in my head, it landed in someone who was sunbathing. Yeah, he got it clear over someone's house. You just see it soaring through the air. It's like a right spiral on it as well. As it was spiraling, all the bits of poo were falling off. It was great. It was like a cluster bomb from worms. But yeah, did anyone out there do that? And if you did, and like, if you didn't do that,
no one has.
Shut up! Someone out there did. Someone out there right now is going, I did that. And if you did, and you're a kindred spirit and you want to buy it, why don't you go to the Fact Fiend merch store? Because, as you can tell from my stories of growing up throwing poo on sticks at people, I did not have the best childhood.
Okay, no, this is so not fair because you had video games, you had a console, you just talked about how you had a Super Soaker.
We always had the worst one, though. We always had like the worst one,
right?
And it was always second hand, and it was always had a fucking leak in it. I remember having to use like a puncture repair kit on my Super Soaker.
Oh my god. But still, I played with sticks as a kid. I've known many kids who play with sticks, but literally every time you get to the part of the story where you were like, you know, the natural escalation, we just started putting dog poop on sticks. Everyone's like, Karl, what's wrong with you?
I'll just never forget the day a kid came out. Do you know those things you used to launch like tennis balls for dogs? He had one of them. That was a game changer, that was.
You put a poo in that?
He did. He was not on our side. That was a scary day. That.
Jesus Christ.
It was like, I remember, yeah, but we got a merch store, check it out. But yeah, I remember like some of the other, like, speaking of like, you know, the tech, like, you know, the arms race of like, you know, kids. I remember like because when people started throwing the poo, we had to start a way to protect us from the poo. So naturally, you think, you know, you'd hold like something above your head. Anything that you can get your hands on. And then one year, a kid came out like the parasol from like his mum's like barbecue set and just like fucking charged across the grass with it. And he took out like 8 kids. He was unstoppable. That kid was unstoppable. He might as well have been a fucking Spartan rocking up. He was like, you might as well have given it to a rugby player because no one could fucking touch that kid. He was unstoppable. Great. That was fun. That was a fun time. But that's the thing, no one's going to comment about that because they're all too busy getting mad about me not liking barnacles. You know what? Suck it. I didn't like barnacles.
Bionicles are gunpla for white people.
I think the reason I had an issue with them is because they were just the same colour and I never liked that. Like, there was never any, like, artistry to the design. Like, there was never, like, highlights. It's just, here's the red one, here's the green one, here's the white one. Like, even the Power Rangers had fucking accents to their outfits. And, like, Barnacles never did. And I know the thing about, like, the mat. And I'm guessing someone's like, well, later ones did. And it's like, dude, remember, you're talking about fucking Barnacle here. Calm down. It's fucking Barnacle. Who gives a shit? Calm down. I'm now so glad as well. I live high up enough up in the air where an angry Barnacle fan couldn't like javelin a piece of poo through my window. That'd be terrifying. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like, do you remember that time like a bat flew into the house? Imagine now if that was like a bat, but it was like a poo and it was on wings. Imagine that.
Oh my god, you did not believe me.
Imagine that. Imagine just like one day, just a poo flew through your window. You'll know. I'm gonna stop talking now.